Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. And I wanted to talk about the Phoenix Suns and the whole Jimmy Butler thing because there's a lot of interesting stuff happening right now. And I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns as a whole because if I'm being honest, the Phoenix Suns' reign of terror, or whatever it is they got going on over there, it's not even the reign of terror, really. It's just the reign of a random fuckload of players that is not going anywhere. The Phoenix Suns tried to do what the Nets did in the early 2010s. Okay? New ownership came in. Wanted to be competitive immediately. They went all in. I remember they had Darren Williams was a guy I think they signed in free agency to an insane amount of money. He was never really the same player that he was in Utah. They traded for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry. I think that trade really didn't work out. Matt Ishbia came in to ownership with the Phoenix Suns and tried to do the same exact thing. This is what happens when you get CEOs of big companies and stuff like that come in and think they know some shit. Okay? They've never done this before. They've never owned a basketball team before. But they come in and they try to call the shots. You know, they have the privilege of being the new owner, and the new owner gets a shiny new toy, and the new owner gets what he wants because now there's a bunch of yes men in the fucking building who don't want to tell the guy no because he just bought the fucking team for billions of dollars. Okay? The problem is Matt Ishbia came in and fucked a lot of things up. He basically forced them to trade for Kevin Durant. Now, I understand Kevin Durant is a generational talent. He is going to go down as, I hate to say it, he's not going to go down as probably the greatest scorer of all time because whoever holds the all-time, it'll be LeBron James because he holds the all-time scoring record. But as far as like the most versatile scorer of all time, as a guy who could do literally fucking anything, Kevin Durant's going to be the guy that we talk about in our old age. Okay? Maybe Gen Z will maybe talk about it, but the generations after them will probably not get to see what Kevin Durant really truly was without going on YouTube to do it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get to see him night in and night out. And that's how I feel about people who compare like LeBron to Jordan. It's like a lot of people who think LeBron's the GOAT never got to watch Jordan night in and night out. Okay? But that's not what we're here to talk about. The point is, okay, I can understand Matt Ishbia going after Kevin Durant. I can understand him tearing down the fucking roster for the most part to go after Kevin Durant. Get rid of Cam Johnson, get rid of Mikal Bridges, trade your entire fucking future for a guy who's arguably the greatest scorer of all time. Okay? That I understood 100% because that opportunity does not come all the time. Plus, he wanted to go there. You know what I'm saying? If a player wants to come to your organization, generally you try to find a way to make it happen. Okay? However, Matt Ishbia got greedy, is what happened. Matt Ishbia got greedy and decided he needed Bradley Beal as well. And this is where everything goes down the fucking toilet because Bradley Beal is one of only 2 players in the entire league with a no-trade clause in their contract. Bradley Beal, at that juncture, just got done signing a ginormous contract worth over $250 million. Bradley Beal was not worth $250 million. He had a no-trade clause, which is like a red flag. Any player who gets a no-trade clause in their contract is a guy you should generally stay away from. Unless it's somebody like a LeBron James, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, a Nikola Jokic, a Luka Doncic. No-trade clauses are meant for players that you simply cannot get something of equivalency back for. Okay, that's what no trade clauses are for. They're for players that are so fucking good that no matter what you get in return, it will never be what they were on the court. Okay? That's what I think no trade clauses are for. No trade clauses are for players that are generational. Bradley Beal was not generational. Is not generational. Okay? Now we have the Jimmy Butler situation, where Jimmy Butler wants to go to Phoenix. I don't know why everybody wants to go to Phoenix, but everybody wants to go to Phoenix. The odds of Jimmy Butler making his way to Phoenix are very unlikely. I'm just going to throw that out there right now because the salaries have to be fucking exact in order for that to happen. All right? Like, there's no give $1 million here, take $1 million there. It's got to be exact. It's got to be on the fucking money in order for Phoenix to trade for Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler's stuck in Miami. I think next year Jimmy Butler's going to accept his player option and he's just going to get paid to sit the fuck home, just like Ben Simmons had to do when he was in Philly. Okay? That's what I think is going to happen in that situation at the current point in time. Now, Phoenix is realizing, because Mike Budenholzer benched Jusuf Nurkic and Bradley Beal, Phoenix is realizing they have to get off of Bradley Beal's contract in order to make Kevin Durant's time there worthwhile. And unfortunately, Bradley Beal holds the ability to be traded with his no-trade clause. He would have to waive it to go someplace else. Not for nothing, if I'm Bradley Beal, I'm not waiving that fucking trade clause to go to Milwaukee or Chicago like people are talking about. Mostly because it's fucking freezing. And, you know, yeah, Arizona is hotter. But I think most people would maybe prefer a warmer climate over a colder climate. And I feel like Bradley Beal is probably one of those guys. All right? Blues brought this up in the Discord that apparently Kevin Durant's available from the Phoenix Suns. I know Pacers fans are going to be like, oh, well, how do we make that happen? We don't make it happen. I'm sorry. Like, there's no way you trade for Kevin Durant without completely blowing up the fucking roster or trading one of Pascal Siakam or Tyrese Halliburton. And I just don't see the front office doing that. Not for a 36-year-old Kevin Durant who's making $51.1 million. Okay? It is very, very hard to trade for players when they're making upwards of $40 million a year. You know, once they reach that $40 million threshold, players become incredibly hard to trade for. However, the Phoenix Suns are at a point where they have, 10 days or so here or something like that. They have I think I saw it this morning. It was 10 days or something like that to do something with that roster. Whether it's trade Kevin Durant, trade Devin Booker, trade Bradley Beal, okay? The problem with the whole thing is they got 3 guys making $50 million and the product they're putting on the floor is not championship level. It's just not. They don't have any depth. They don't play defense very well. They don't have a lot of size. Jusuf Nurkic is essentially a waste of space, and now James Jones has to try to salvage what he's got going on over there. I think the trading 1 first-round pick for 3 future first-round picks, or 1 really good unprotected 2031 first-round pick for 3 first-round picks, a 2025, a 2027, and a 2029 was a great deal. They brought in Nick Richards. I thought that was a good move. Nick Richards, I think, is a great player. However, that is not enough. That is not enough for this team to be competitive the rest of the season. They are going to have to move Kevin Durant or Bradley Beal. More likely going to be Kevin Durant. Okay, because Bradley Beal holds his destiny in his hands. He can go wherever the fuck he wants. Bradley Beal knows the organization doesn't want him at this point, okay? He's known that since he's got there. Since that, he's been injured a lot. He's only averaging 17 points. They are paying $49 or $50 million a year for a guy who averages 17 points a game. okay? Just like Miami's doing. They're paying $47 million for a guy who averages 17 points a game, all right? Neither Jimmy Butler nor Bradley Beal are worth what they're getting paid. The problem with trading Bradley Beal is it's almost impossible. The problem with trading anybody on that fucking roster is almost impossible. Even if you wanted to trade Kevin Durant, okay, and you manage to find somebody who can put the salary cap together to make it exact. That's the problem with being a second apron team. You have to be exact on the fucking money. It can't be like $1 million over, $1 million less. You have to be on the fucking money. Like, it has to be a straight up even swap, okay? Even if they were to find somebody who could trade for Kevin Durant, Devin Booker's going to want out. Now you got Kevin Durant's 36, so you might as well try to trade him and get what you can. But then Devin Booker, if you trade Kevin Durant, you think Devin Booker is going to want to stay? Devin Booker is going to want to go someplace else. If you are Phoenix at this juncture, I feel like you trade Kevin Durant. You try to find a trade suitor for Devin Booker, okay? San Antonio looks like a real good candidate. I'm just going to throw that out there, okay? San Antonio, I think, could make a Devin Booker trade work. And you'd probably get some draft capital with it that you will desperately need. So trading Devin Booker is really not the end of the world. Trading Kevin Durant, though, being that he's 36, that's not an easy contract to move. Now, if you're Miami, if I'm Pat Riley, okay, the guy I'm trying to trade for is Kevin Durant. I'll give you Jimmy Butler plus whatever I can work out to get Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant to Miami would be a great move for the Miami Heat. I feel like it would put them back in the conversation for being like a top 5 playoff team in the East. Obviously, there'd be an adaptation period there. But Kevin Durant like I said, he's only got maybe 2 good years left. Okay, maybe 3. I don't know. I don't know how many good years Kevin Durant has left. Most players I just know don't play past 40. Okay, even LeBron, the guy who has somehow cheated Father Time. Okay, and has almost never gotten fucking injured. Even he at 41 doesn't look like the same guy. Phoenix has gotten themselves into a very nasty hole, and it's going to be very hard to get out of it. I think, yeah, you know what? Getting rid of Devin Booker will not be hard. Somebody will give you what you want for Devin Booker, and I almost feel like that would be the route you take first. Trade Devin Booker to an up-and-coming team that's really good, and just try to get him off the books. Just, honestly, I think Phoenix should be sellers, if I'm being honest with you. There's nothing on that roster that screams championship. They have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, 3 guys making $50 million a year that are just way too similar in the positions that they play. The problem is there's not a lot of teams that could trade for Kevin Durant. I think Devin Booker's young enough and good enough where you could get a San Antonio involved. The Memphis Grizzlies could maybe get involved in that. Maybe send you a Desmond Bane plus stuff or something like that. The problem with Devin Booker is you're same thing with Kevin Durant. You're almost never going to get back what you're giving up. And unfortunately, I feel like it's the avenue the Phoenix Suns need to go in. Mike Budenholzer, I think, is a great coach. I think Mike Budenholzer should never have lost his job with Milwaukee in the first place, and I still to this day stand on that. I'll die on that hill. I don't care. But Phoenix has 3 guys that are very hard to trade. If there's anybody that they're going to be stuck with, it's going to be Bradley Beal. If you're Phoenix, get rid of Devin Booker. Get rid of Devin Booker. Get rid of Kevin Durant. Get rid of Jusuf Nurkic. Get whatever the fuck you can to get rid of these players. And get yourself some young talent. Maybe get yourself some draft capital. I want to be honest. If I'm the Denver Nuggets right now, fuck Zach LaVine. Like, if I'm the Denver Nuggets, yeah, fuck Zach LaVine. Let me call about this Kevin Durant you got over there. Can you imagine the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, and Aaron Gordon, and Russell Westbrook, what they got going over there? You'll get to put Kevin Durant back with Russell Westbrook. And like they're playing very well as like with Jokic's passing, Kevin Durant would eat. But like you want to get rid of Michael Porter Jr., right? Get rid of Michael Porter Jr. Send Michael Porter Jr. plus some stuff to Phoenix. Send them some draft picks. Land yourself Kevin Durant. Because even though like yeah, that sounds shitty. It's not the greatest thing in the world. At least Michael Porter Jr. is young enough where you can put him out there by himself for a while and just see what you got. Put him out there with Bradley Beal, or just maybe not even fucking play Bradley Beal. I don't know. Just let him sit on the fucking bench and come off with the bench unit. I don't know, but Michael Porter Jr. has never gotten the opportunity to be a number one option, and I feel like if you did that in Phoenix, brought him in, it was just like, hey, go out there for like the rest of the season and just take as many shots. Take 22 shots a game. Let's just see. Let's just see what Michael Porter Jr. can do by himself, right? I feel like that's an avenue that the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns should at the very least explore. You might not get the draft capital you're looking for Kevin Durant, but Michael Porter Jr. is young enough where you might be able to like turn that into something. Like I said, there's not a lot of teams that can trade for Kevin Durant. And even the teams that could, like Washington, could make an offer of Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma for Kevin Durant, but that's not really of equal value. You know what I'm saying? Like neither one of those players is even remotely close to Kevin Durant's level. But I feel like if you're Phoenix, you just have to go in a different direction. You have to try to get younger. You have to try to get more talented. You have to try to get some draft picks. There's really not a lot of guys out on the market for you. I mean, even Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's not young anymore. Chris Middleton's not young anymore. Chris Middleton's injured all the fucking time. Kyle Kuzma's okay, but he's not great. Jordan Poole, same thing. Jordan Poole's okay, but he's not great. In trades like this, you're never going to get back what you're giving up for a guy like Devin Booker or Kevin Durant. But I think the Spurs could make a really good run at Devin Booker. And I think if you're the Denver Nuggets, you've been looking to put a scorer, a bona fide scorer around Nikola Jokic and really make the most of what you got. You give Kevin Durant a chance to win himself another ring here. Actually, if I go to Fanspo, right, Kevin Durant's making, $51 million this year? So if I go to Phoenix and I go to Denver, let's trade KD to the Nuggets. Michael Porter Jr. is making $35 million a year. So we got to try to come up with $20 million. I can't trade Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon. Zeke Najee's going to have to go. We're $6 million off. Dario Saric can go. Let's just see. I'm just curious. No. And I need another 1.2. So let's send Jalen Pickett over there. How close is this? That works. So if you're the Nuggets, okay, it would be Michael Porter Jr., Zeke Najee, Dario Saric, Jalen Pickett, and how many picks do they got? Every first-round pick they have for the rest of their fucking lives would go to Phoenix. So the 2026 first-rounder, the 2028 first-rounder, and the 2030 first-rounder for Kevin Durant. And that's a trade that works. Kevin Durant is still good enough where I think he could command like 3 first-round picks. a 2026, a 2028, and a 2030. They would get Michael Porter Jr., Zeke Naji, Dario Saric, and Jalen Pickett for Kevin Durant to the Nuggets. And you know what? That's really, at the end of the day, that's really not a bad haul for Kevin Durant, being that he's 36 and maybe has 2 good years left. If you're Denver, it gives you what you want. The crazy part is, too, this is like when you look at the adjusted win rates for each team, it's +0 wins and +0 wins for both teams, even though I feel like adding Kevin Durant to the Nuggets would definitely make them a really, really good team. But also, if you're the Suns, you get about $1.2 million in cap relief. I don't know, man. You know what? It's very, very hard. It's hard to look at and set your finger on, but Michael Porter Jr. How old is Michael Porter Jr.? Michael Porter Jr. is 26 years old, okay? And he's 6'10", with like a 7, like he's basically baby KD. You know what I'm saying? Measurements-wise. Talent-wise, no, but he averages 18 points a game, gets about 6.5 rebounds a game, and 2.5 assists per game. And he's making about, in the ballpark of $35 to $40 million over the... He's making north of $35 million for the next 2 years. It's almost $40 million. But that's still cheaper than Kevin Durant. It gives you draft capital, and you could probably bring back Michael Porter Jr. for less money than what the Nuggets signed him for in the future, being that he's only 26. I think any young prospect you can get similar to Kevin Durant for Kevin Durant, if you're the Phoenix Suns, is a win. Obviously, it's not the greatest trade in the world, but the Nuggets are a team that automatically comes to my mind when you think of a team that's looking to get rid of Michael Porter Jr., but is also, if you're the Nuggets, you're looking to add somebody next to Nikola Jokic, who is a bona fide bucket getter, and Kevin Durant does that. Also, if you're Phoenix, like Zeke Naji is a good player, Michael Porter Jr. is 26, Jalen Pickett is a shooting guard. He's got 3 years left on his deal. He's 25 years old. Like, you're getting at least younger, you know what I'm saying? And you're getting draft picks. Yeah, the talent might not be that great, but when you're trading a guy like Kevin Durant, you have to expect you're not going to get what you want for him. You're just not. So I like this trade for them. That's one trade that I think is possible. Honestly, I feel like the Denver Nuggets are the team that makes the most sense for a guy like Kevin Durant, but I just think the Phoenix Suns are in a situation now where they have to consider doing a complete rebuild. They did just get 3 first-round picks from the Utah Jazz. They traded them one 2031 unprotected first-round pick for 3 future firsts that are just later, a 2025, a 2027, and a 2029. If you can give up KD, and send him to the Nuggets, and you get, a 2028 and a 2026, a 2028, and a 2030, you have a first-round pick every single year in the draft for the next, 6 years, next 5 years, which is enough to at least put you back in the right direction, So I don't know, man. I don't really know what this all entails or what is at the end of the road for the Phoenix Suns, but I will say this. They're probably going to get stuck with Bradley Beal. They're probably not going to end up landing Jimmy Butler, and they should really, really strongly consider trading Devin Booker first and then trading Kevin Durant. And if I'm the Nuggets, even if they're not looking to trade Kevin Durant at the moment, if I'm the Denver Nuggets, I'm calling about Kevin Durant and be like, hey, I got Michael Porter Jr., I got Zeke Naji, I got Dario Saric, I got this Jalen Pickett dude, okay, and I got 3 first-round picks for you, okay? I don't know what the condition of the first-round picks are going to be, but you're a team that's going nowhere. Give me Kevin Durant, who is 36 years old, luckily is still a baller, okay? Let me give you this, you give me that, and we will be on our merry way. And I feel like that's not the end of the world for both teams. Yeah, if you're a Phoenix fan, yeah, it sucks. But you have to understand also Michael Porter Jr. is 26 years old, averaging 18 points a game as a third option. And he is also 6'10", and I think could benefit a lot from being a number one option in Phoenix. I feel like it would give him the opportunity to kind of get in his bag a little more. Michael Porter Jr. is not a great defender. I think Kevin Durant's a way better defender than Michael Porter Jr., but getting a 26-year-old small forward that's 6'10" that has the same, like, I don't know, obviously not the same measurements or physicals as Kevin Durant, but it's in the ballpark, is, I think, a pretty good turnaround. I actually feel like that's a trade that could happen at the deadline. That, I think Phoenix in the final days of the trade deadline is going to have to bite the bullet at some point on what they have. And like I said, Kevin Durant's got 2 years left on his deal. If they don't do anything with him soon, they're going to have to get rid of him anyway or risk losing him for nothing. So I feel like the house of cards for the Phoenix Suns is going to come crashing down here sooner rather than later, and probably within the next couple weeks here, within the next 10 days, if I'm being honest with you. Because if they find no way to get rid of Bradley Beal, they have to start looking at Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and they're going to have to do it relatively quickly. Because if they don't trade Bradley Beal, that's going to determine their season. That's what's going to determine their entire... They literally have to try to convince Bradley Beal to go to a destination he does not want to go to. And that normally doesn't work. So, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.